I welcome all the masters today to Vidhyan Wednesday sessions. My heartful pranamas to my Guruji, Patriji, PSSM and Anapanasati meditation. So today is a very important session. Today is a very crucial session if we all are interested in knowing what is our soul's plan. And we all know that we all are not this body, we are all not this mind, this emotions, and we all are pure souls. So, when we are a soul, it is very prominent, very important, very significant for all of us to know what is our soul plan. Before getting deeply into this topic, let me tell you from where did this topic come today and how did it had a great impact on my life that this topic should be shared today. So, as you all know, on 1st May, which was Buddha Purnima, on Friday, this time, Vidhyan, along with PSSM Coimbatore, we have organized a massive meditation program, which was Buddha Purnima Yagna in Coimbatore city, Tamil Nadu. So it was not a plan which was aroused from the mind, but it was an intuitive, divine cosmic plan. It was a cosmic plan. It was there, the plan was there in the higher worlds, and that blueprint got beautifully downloaded through the intuition, and the program got executed. Now, in this program, around 200 to 250 masters across the districts of Tamil Nadu and Coimbatore, and also from Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and from North India, they have participated. So, this program was a massive hit. Very strong organizing committee stood behind the success of this program. A group of volunteers and their unwavered service was behind this program. So the program happened very successfully, and then I was back to Bangalore. So after coming back to Bangalore, it almost took me 2.5 days to recover and to come back to my base energies, because whenever such kind of massive yagnas happens, our energies increases a lot, and also we tend to absorb a lot, we tend to give a lot. So in order to again come back to our base energies, it takes some time. So it almost took me 2.5 days. Just at the end of when this phase was getting over, after that 2.5 days, so in this 2.5 days I have maintained least contact with people. I have not taken any counselings, no much public interactions, and I was just at my home, resting, recovering, and doing all things which would bring me out of into balance very quickly. So after this 2.5 days, naturally I felt a very strong inclination to sit in meditation. And when I sat in meditation, I saw a number which was the number of walk ins which happened on that day. So before the Buddha Purnima, 10 days before Buddha Purnima, I got a message that 44 walk ins will surely happen. And above it is all depends on how many people turn up. So it is not about the effort, it is about the people's readiness. The message was reached to the nook and corner of Coimbatore and to different districts, because a massive prachara has happened in the span of 21 days. But how many people turn out is doesn't depend on us, but it depends on the people's readiness, the people's free will. So, after coming back, when I sat in meditation, I saw that during this process of Buddha Purnima in Coimbatore, 27 walk ins have happened. So, the number was 44, but the walk ins which happened was 27. Why was there a decrease? Because the people who had to turn up did not turn up. See, always the soul, there's something called as soul's destiny. The soul's destiny will always open the platform in front of you. Now, the soul's destiny say that one person has to come into meditation. So, the right opportunities will come to your doorsteps. The right people will come to you teaching meditation. But it is the short free will of the person whether to take it or leave it. It is just like you have got a job role in front of you. You know, a job is waiting in front of you. You have two options. So it is absolutely up to you if you take option A, option B, or you take option C, which is none of them. Your destiny always opens up the opportunities and the doors, but your free will decides what is going to happen next in your life. So, 27 walk ins happened. Was it a success or failure? It was a huge success because every time, as I say, efforts are in our hand. From our childhood, the society, the school, colleges have trained us that what you perform, what results you get, that is ultimate. But that is society's point of view. The soul's point of view never sees the result, it always sees the effort. How much did you invest? How much did you invest when that process was going on? So, after the meditation, I was very happy 27 walk ins happened. Then, after seeing everybody's, the overall progress, then I was seeing my progress. So, and the message was whatever you had to achieve, you have achieved far more than that because the effort that you have put towards the running of that event, it could be your thought, it could be your energy, it could be your networking, it could be whatever way you have to make the program, the event successful, you have done it. So, always the effort counts and not the results, and that was a proof. Later, my third experience in meditation was I heard Patriji's voice, which said, the program is absolutely a success. Now, you move on to the next chapter of your life. So, whenever after every event happens, I wait for Patriji's message. So, after 8th March, Vidhyan Yagna 3 happened. I was waiting for his message. I did not get any. I was surprised. How is this possible? After every event, I clearly see what I have to do next. But that time, it was not given. Then I thought, okay, maybe still something is pending. Then the Bhutan trip happened. Vidhyan International Bhutan trip. We went, we came back, and then again I sat in meditation, but I have not received any message. And then when I questioned, why am I not getting the complete picture of after the event has happened, why I'm not get receiving that fulfillment, that is when the masters replied saying, because you have not yet completed the series of events. What has been assigned to you, it is only two of three is completed. There is still one part, and that part was Vidhyan Coimbatore Buddha Purnima. That is when, after Buddha Purnima got completed, after I sat in meditation, that is when Patrici gave a message. It is successfully completed. Now move on to the next chapter of your life. So when he said it, first it was a successful, mark to completion of the series of successful, the three events. First was Vidhyan Yagna 3, then the Bhutan international trip, and then Vidhyan Coimbatore Buddha Purnima. So it was a successful completion. That was a moment of celebration. The next thing was he said, move on to the next chapter of life. After waking up, I was thinking, what could be the next chapter of life? I will only continue whatever is there in my life. So that question was continuously, it was running in my mind. After 24 hours, after a day, again, when I settled down further, after I relaxed further, that is when I got a vision where I went into a deep trance and I connected to my own energies. Connecting to my own energies, I went to a place, and when I was seeing what is that place, that was a sacred place inside my soul. And inside it, there was a library. And when I went, and naturally my hand went and it took a book. And that book got opened. The moment my fingers touched to that book got opened. It was a small golden color book. And when that book had few pages, and exactly what page was needed, that page got opened, and everything inside that book was written in golden letters. When I saw what is that book, it was the book of my soul's plan. So every soul has got its book. Akashic records are different, soul's plan book is different. This was my soul's plan book, which was very small. You take a A5, thing, and you make it to half, only this much was the book, small book. And when I carefully saw what was in it, it exactly revealed what was there, what I have to do next. So when I was seeing that, when the pages got opened, a green color energies started getting channeled. And when I was seeing where is it channeling, it was channeling into my heart chakra. And after so much of energy got channeled, then from heart chakra, the green energies was going to my third eye. So when I asked what is it, they said, for all the things that you have completed so far, next we are channeling those green energies to you. Green energies are heart chakra energies. Now your heart chakra will open to a massive range. Till now, see, every person grows in two ways, horizontally and vertically. Vertically is the growth, horizontally is the expansion. So, till now, in all my last 19 years, I have grown, vertically. That means in depth of spirituality. But right now, after the completion of this Buddha Purnima, my energies are growing horizontally. That means expansion energies. So, what will happen going forward? A lot of people will come searching Vidhyan, will come searching me to learn meditation, to seek lot of clarity in their spiritual journey. Till now, I was going to every place, I was going to people. Of course, that will continue, but going forward, lot of people will come because those channels have now got opened. Lot of connections will get established through Vidhyan. Lot of women. I cannot even say, till now it is all in count. I can tell hundred thousands. I exactly know where all I taught meditation, whom all I got, I guided. But going forward, it is going to go countless. So many doors will get opened, so many people will come. Then, when I saw why the energies went towards third eye, then they replied saying, right people will come to you, but now we have increased your capabilities and abilities to recognize the right people. They will come into your life, but also you should have, the right or more accurate, precise potential to recognize them. Now those doors are more refined and more opened to you. So, this has exactly happened after the Coimbator's Buddha Purnima. So, if this change has happened in me, the changes will happen in everybody who have volunteered, who have participated, who have meditated on that day. Every effort is counted. That is why I always encourage women meditate, but also seva is very important, service is very important. You are sitting in meditation, you also have to make a lot of people sit in meditation. And today, when I meditated in the afternoon, the next event got opened. On this International Women's Day, next, I will be traveling to Vishakhapatnam in June. From June 14th to June 22nd, I'll be in Vizag, Andhra Pradesh, celebrating Vidhyan's International Women's Day there. And that is not it. Next year, on 8th March, on the next Yagna of Vidhyan, always it gets revealed before 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or in the month of December, where the Yagna has to happen. This time it got revealed today, almost 10 months before. Today is May 6th, and in for May 8th, there are exactly 10 months. And this time the Vidhyan's Mahila Yagna will happen in Vizag, Andhra Pradesh. And it will happen with thousands of women, countless women. Just not from the area of Vishakhapatnam, but people from Karnataka, people from North India, people from Pune, Maharashtra, Gujarat, people from Coimbatore, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Everybody will come to that Yagna because those are the energies there. So many masters are in Vishakhapatnam, and now that Mahila Yagna has to happen there. And when it is Mahila Yagna, it is only not the Mahila Yagna of Vizag, but it is going to be the Mahilas of the entire country, and even people from outside country will join this Yagna. So next year, almost January, February, I'm going to stay in Vizag and I'm going to do a massive prachara there along with all the Vizag masters. So this is a blueprint, and first time I'm very surprised that such a well ahead of time that these kind of events have already, it has got, the place has got revealed. All right, masters, this was all about what has happened. Now, today's session will help all of us to know exactly what is our soul plan. So, we all have a soul, correct? If we are here, we have souls, right? Then the soul also has got a soul plan. How do you know what is your soul plan? Yes, sometimes to know the precise soul plan, we get guidance in meditation, we get guidance, uh, through masters. But in order to understand every person, be a meditator or a non meditator, let me tell you, this session is just not for meditators. Even if a non meditator is watching this session or they'll watch this in future, they will get a rough idea of what is their soul's plan. So, this session is for each of us to understand what does the patterns of our life, the patterns of our body, the patterns of our mind is revealing about our soul's plan. We all need not have third eye necessarily to understand our soul's plan. Just if we have mere common sense, or if we open our perception, we change the perception, okay, if I see in this angle, my soul's plan will get revealed. That is also enough. So, let us get deep into today's session, and let me tell you, today's session might go a little longer. So, if you want to have clarity on your soul's plan, on your soul's blueprint, then stay tuned till the last minute of the session. So, the soul expresses itself how? Through its body, through the mind. The soul exactly expresses itself through the body, mind, and through the situations. If you observe carefully, right from the childhood till the moment of our death, our body changes. How our body was last year, it is not now. How the body was 7 days ago, it is not now. The body keeps changing. The mind keeps changing. The life situation keeps changing. The emotions keeps changing. But what stays constant is the soul. Soul always remains constant. Soul always witnesses. The soul is the silent center of your existence. It is a part that does not panic, but it witnesses every change of your body, mind, emotions, life situations, life experiences as a witness. The soul does not age, but the body ages. The soul does not fluctuate, but the emotions fluctuates. The soul only observes, learns, and it evolves. So, when we carefully look into the patterns of our body and mind, we will understand our soul's plan. Because your body is not random, your mind is not random. Just within a family of four members, the body shapes will be different, correct? The mind patterns will be different. It could be two sisters, it could be two siblings, but the patterns of the mind will be greatly different. So, your body and your mind tells you about your soul's journey. The kind of body you have chosen, the kind of mind your mind got shaped into tells about your soul's destiny. How? Your soul has meticulously chosen everything. It could be your parents, it could be your family members, it could be the environment where you'll take birth, it could be the emotional landscapes, it could be the country, culture, and the conditions. Everything was meticulously planned by the soul for its experiences that is needed for its evolution. So, the path that the soul chooses need not be easy, or it will not be easy, but The path will meticulously teach you something, because the soul has not come here for comfort. The soul has come here for growth, for experience, for learning, for evolution, and the evolution happens through contrast. So the soul does not choose what is easy, but the soul chooses what is absolutely necessary. Many people ask, if the soul is wise, why would it choose pain? Because the soul is not choosing pain for suffering, it is choosing the pain for experiencing the evolution. Some souls choose comfort to learn gratitude. Some souls choose struggle to learn the strength. Some souls choose loss to learn detachment. Some souls choose love to learn deep surrender or deep devotion. Some souls choose silence to learn the inner truth. And some chose lot of chaos in their life to choose mastery, to learn mastery. What looks difficult for the mind is actually very much meaningful for the soul. The mind experiences hardships, but the soul experiences curriculum. Every book has got an index, right? Similarly, every soul has got an index, which is nothing but the soul's plan. So, your life is not random, but it is very much structured for learning from the perspective of your soul. So, your life is not a punishment, it is not some random chaos. It is very much structured from the field of learning. Every major relationship in your life teaches you something. Every repeated patterns reveals something. Every delays in your life teaches you maturity. Every challenge in your life teaches you strengths. Every loss in your life teaches you something very meaningful and purposeful. Every attraction in your life points out to something. Initially, when I met Patriji, I told him, Sir, there are certain patterns to which I feel deeply attracted. But I'm very much uh, I'm very much thinking that I should not take wrong steps in my life, because always attraction leads you to, move that side, right? So I told, Sir, I'm attracted towards certain patterns of the life, towards certain situations, but I don't want to take wrong steps. What should I do? Then Patriji said, whatever you are getting strongly attracted to, that is nothing but your soul's plan. If you're getting attracted to certain opportunities, certain places, certain people, certain kind of patterns, it is because your soul has chosen it for you, and here you feel attracted to it. Especially for a meditator, because he doesn't have mind, or the mind is there but it is majorly ignored. So life happens to you, and the beauty lies in recognizing those subtle things. Your life is not merely happening, but it is teaching you. So let us come to a point of our body, and what does our body teaches us? So the body reflects how your life force wants you to move in this world. If you see certain body types, they'll be very lean, they'll be very light body. What does it mean? It means fast metabolism. Lean people are often, they cannot sit in one place. They have certain restless energies. They want to move. So, here the soul is seeking for movement, for change, for creativity. And when the body is lean, naturally, it will tend to move a lot. It will tend to jump a lot. It will tend to travel a lot. Correct? So, it is not because the body is like that we are behaving in a certain way. It is because the soul wants us to go in a certain path. Therefore, it has chosen a body so that it will therefore relate you to that circumstances. For example, someone who gets bored very quickly, someone who loves travel, someone who always experiments with the new ideas. Okay, so these people you will often see them, they have very lean and light body. And their what is their alignment, or what kind of roles they take is they take the roles of creators. They're always communicators, they're always explorer. They're always those people who explores a lot. That is explorer. Then there are certain people who have very strong muscular and grounded body, very naturally. So here the soul seeks action, soul seeks leadership, soul seeks protection. They are not seeking, they are in the roles who offers it. They are into building something. So naturally these people take charge in situations. They handle pressure very well. And you'll often see these kind of people in leadership roles, into the roles where lot of execution is required. You will see roles where there is entrepreneurship. Okay. Now there is another body type which is soft rounder body. So in this body what happens, lot of water retention happen, and they seek lot of comfort. Often these kind of people think that they are, you know they it's a myth, and they tell themselves that I'm round, I'm fat, I have to lose the weight. But if you carefully observe, if you look from the soul's point of view, these are the souls who seek nurturing, who hold the space, who have great emotional connections. And often these people, they come as a form of support. They always value relationships deeply. And wherever you find these people, the relationships will be very deep. And these people often take the roles of, healing, or they do a lot of counselings, or they are in a lot of caregiving roles. Okay. So, what we have to understand here is your body type is not a mistake, but it is a message. Recently also, I remember when I was talking to one woman, she said, I'm very lean, and I don't know, is it right or what I have to improve. And I was telling her that if your body type is lean, it is, you don't, there's nothing to feel bad about it. But you have to carefully observe, if your body type is lean, what kind of message it is giving to you. What kind of uh, how do I tell you, what kind of exact soul path it is taking you towards. Okay. So every body tendency reveals your life lessons. When the body struggles often shows, you know uh, where the body, wherever your body is struggling, to put it in other words, wherever your body is struggling, ensure, no, understand that your soul is learning. You carefully observe and you understand it. Okay. So next, let us go towards your mind patterns. Mind patterns clearly shows the soul's directions. Your dominant thoughts reveals what your soul is trying to master or what it is trying to express. If your mind is often overthinking or too much analyzing mind, then that means the soul seeks clarity. That soul seeks wisdom. That soul seeks deeper understanding. Because every mind does not overthink. I have met such beautiful women in my life who are very shant, very calm. You give them one direction, they go, or they know their direction, they execute it. But also, there are a lot of people who overthink a lot. And personally, I'll tell you, I also used to come into that category. Right from the time meditation came into my life, my questions were, okay, what is this? What is that? What is this? How to achieve this? How to go there? How to complete your soul's purpose? What is this third eye? What is this vision? Oh my God, so many questions, so much of overthinking. But now, when I see it, I understand the soul was trying to seek a lot of clarity. The soul wanted to have deeper understanding. But if you ask me now, do I overthink? No. When it comes to works, I don't overthink. When it comes to guidance, I don't overthink. But whenever it comes about knowledge, when I have to understand a vision, when I have to understand why this pattern is working this way, that time I really think. And always that thinking has led me to more clarity. So often, the people who are always overthinking or who are analyzing a lot, they mostly choose the roles of teaching, or the roles where there has to be some strategies involved, or where there is a lot of philosophy involved. Okay. Next kind of category is where the people are highly emotional and they have sensitive mind. So, highly emotional plus sensitive mind, this is a different combination. Here, the soul seeks for connection, for compassion, for healing. Here, the soul doesn't want deep understanding, he doesn't want clarity. It just wants connections, it does just wants compassion. It wants a lot of healing to take place in themselves and also in others. So, these kind of people you will see in the role of healers, artists, counselors. Okay. Next combination is these people are very driven and they're very ambitious. That means they have ambitious mind. So these kind of people who has ambitious mind, that means their soul is seeking for achievement, their soul is seeking for impact, their soul is seeking for creation in the world. Okay. So here you will see them often in the leadership roles or in the roles of innovations. When I carefully see myself in which category do I fall into all the three categories. I'm a thinker, I'm a very good thinker. Okay. I'm also very highly emotional, but my emotions are not the outburst emotions, but mine are very balanced emotions. Okay. And I'm also very ambitious, and I'm very goal driven. I'm very purpose driven. So whoever comes in contact with me, I always ensure that they also turn towards their purpose in life. So you have to see in which category does your mind falls into, because your mind is not random, but it is a training ground. So often we think, okay, because I have taken birth in such kind of family, because I had such kind of family members, because I had such kind of parents, I went through these kind of struggles or these kind of opportunities, and therefore I'm like this today. Okay. But from soul's point of view, when you see, it is you who have decided what kind of parents, which kind of situations, what kind of experiments you'll have in your childhood, so that it will lead you towards your purpose in the later on life. Very clearly, I'll tell you my example of life so that all of you can map towards your own life cycle. So, in the family in which I was born and brought up, both my parents were working. So, therefore, they could not give so much of time to me like how other parents generally give. you know I got limited time from them, but also I got lot of freedom, lot of independence. I understood right from my childhood, I understood relationships are important, but they are not everything in your life, they're only a part of your life. For example, I've come across so many women who say relationship is everything, husband is everything, children are everything, my home is everything. But the kind of environment where I was born and brought up, I understood that relationship is not everything. It is a part of your life. It can either be supportive, it can either be challenging, but both of it teaches you your soul lessons. First thing. Second thing, I saw my mother very independent right from my childhood. She used to take her decisions. She was very much clear of what she wanted, what she didn't wanted. She wanted to give lot of freedom to her children. So therefore it was very easy to me, for me or for my sister, to be very independent in their lives. There was no struggle for us to understand that we have to be independent, we have to stand on our legs, because it naturally came. Third thing, my mother was very much particular that there should be music in our lives. So, right from our childhood, she has enrolled us into singing, into, instrument playing. So, that has played a crucial role in our life with respect to expression. Whatever, there should just not be input, there should also be output. So that music taught us. If I would have born in some other family, maybe I would have missed this combination. Fourth thing, my father, although he's not a meditator, he taught me the importance of non interference. We see a lot of parents interfering in their children's life as if they are owning them. But I have seen from my childhood, my father never used to interfere into my life. Not in my childhood, not after I have grown. There always used to be healthy boundaries. He always taught us that you should live your life joyfully. Whatever happens, there should not be expectations in your life. Whatever comes, you must accept it. So, all these things, all these spiritual things, I have learned well before from my childhood. Fifth thing, because both my parents were into government, division, they were into bank. Every 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, we used to move to new places. I was never settled in one place. In fact, it was last 10 years when I got settled in Bangalore, but otherwise, from my childhood, I was moving from one place to other. Andhra, North India, Delhi, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, almost have covered most of the India except Northeast. So, all this happened because they were into such kind of jobs. So, that always taught me nothing is permanent in life. It also taught me you must accept every culture, you must accept every religion, every person, all kinds of people, because there are variety of segments, there are variety of people, and we must gel with everyone. So that taught me friendship, that taught me openness, that taught me acceptance, that taught me traveling, that taught me adaptation, adjustment. So all these things are today, it has helped Vidhyan a lot. Today I travel a lot. Today I meet a lot of people. And nothing of it, when people come and they tell me various problems in their life to seek guidance, I don't judge them, because that natural openness of mind is there in me because of the kind of life I had. And why did I have this life? I'm not like this because I had such kind of life, but I am like this because the soul has meticulously chosen this body, those parents, that family situation, that environment, so that after going through all the experiences, the mind will be shaped in a way which will be helped later on in their life for their purpose of life. So, similarly, all your everything, your relationships, your the type of body you have, the kind of situations you underwent, it could be soft, it could be hard. Everything is very much meticulously planned by the soul so that it will be the way it is today. Then, what will we complain about? I had struggling uh, emotional childhood. No, you had emotional childhood because your soul chose it. It knew if it will go in that family, it will have that kind of childhood. Yet it chose it because it had its learning curve. Recently, there was I met a kid, I met a child. I just saw him. He was 5 or 6 years old. I just met him for 2 3 minutes. He came along with his parents. Then we parted ways. And then when I sat in meditation, I saw his soul's plan that in future he's going to be a multimillionaire, multi-billionaire. Okay. But when I see his current state, their parent state was not so well to do. Their parents have are still struggling through a lot of things, and when it comes to finances, they went through great struggles just not in coping up, but also they heard lot of things from people. So that child has chosen to take birth in that family. Why? He will see that, okay, my parents, although they have all these things, still they are constantly thrown back when it comes to finances. So that will be a great inspirational factor for him tomorrow to earn money, to stand on his own legs, and to support his parents financially, so that they can complete what all they didn't complete so far, and that also takes a great way in his career, in his path. So because his parents are like that, he's not going to become multimillionaire. He has in his soul plan, he will earn a lot of money. The soul is seeking for that experience. Therefore, he has taken birth in a place where there are a lot of financial struggles so that independently he learns things, he earns his money, and he also supports his family. So that was his soul's plan. What a beautiful thing, isn't it? On the other side, I've seen another family where the child is in his teenagers, like he's around 15, 16 years of his age, and he is filthy rich, filthy wealthy. But when you see, it is not because his parents are like that, that's why he's experiencing that luxury, but because he has such great good amount of karma that he has got that option to choose such a family so that he reaps all the good karma he has done. So it helps him a lot to experience all the bogas of his good past life karma. Similarly, lot of people are born in middle class families. Why? Because they want to learn the concept of living in the middle path. Today you wear a luxurious dress, you travel in a business class hotel, but a middle class person will always know what are his grounds. You know, nothing will take over his head because he has seen extremes of life. So you are not born in middle class family, that's why you're like this, but you are like this because you chose to take birth in this family, in that particular family, and learn your lessons. So everything has a reason. So you will clearly understand now what are the things that you wanted to learn. If your mind is there in a particular way, why is it like that? If a person, has an issue with finance, whatever happens, you always feel, money is a block. And he sees the same pattern. That means he has come to learn a lesson. One of the lessons that money is never a block. I'll tell you one very interesting case study. One of my friend, when I was talking to her, she was telling whenever she travels in flight, whenever she takes a flight, there is a lot of turbulence in the flight that she gets almost a heart attack, or whenever she travels in flight, the flight gets delayed, or there's something or the other thing happens with her luggage, or something she loses, or she misses the flight, or the flight gets hugely delayed. When she was telling her patterns, I understood one thing. She has a block with traveling, especially in the flight, in the air. That could come from the past lives. But every time she travels, she faces the same things. But I have seen so far, I have taken hundreds of flights in my life. Not even once turbulence has happened. Not even once, delays has happened, but it is very minimum 15, 20 minutes. Never there was an issue with my luggage. Never there was a incident which I will register that, oh my god, I'll never forget it. But when you see, there's so many people who face those kind of things. Why? Because, and if you're seeing the same pattern again and again, then the pattern is repeatedly telling you, hey, you are here to learn this underlining soul lesson. Another friend of mine, she was telling, I always have issues with, this Ola, Uber drivers. I said, always? She said, yes, always. Just in front of my eyes, she booked an Ola, and lot of disturbance happened. Then, while coming back, I said, you leave it, I will book it. When I booked, nothing happened. I told, never in my life I had issue with any driver. She said, never in my life I had a smooth ride. Why? If something is happening repeatedly in your life, it could be with your relationship, it could be with, when you go to shopping, it could be when you go to traveling, or there is a pattern also that one lady told me that whenever I want to do something, whenever major things has to happen in my life, first two times it will fail and third time it will succeed. It's a pattern. When you recognize, when you just turn your attention towards it, the pattern gets dissolved. Because if a pattern is repeating, that means the soul has not learnt the lesson. If you're getting repeatedly cheated in your life, repeatedly, okay, only situations are changing, people are changing, but the exploitation is always happening, if you're continuously losing things, that means you must learn your soul's lesson. You have to be careful. There is something which you're always doing wrong. Maybe it could be with the blind trust. Maybe it could be not overlooking things. Okay, they will take care. Or there are certain things which you're always making a mistake, because of which you're always going in depths. So you must see what is that pattern. If always one person is giving you lot of pain, always remember it is not about that person, it is about the pattern. If tomorrow that person will go, another person will come. I was recently guiding a woman, okay, and she was telling, I want to come out, but these people are stopping me. Then I said, you must take your stand when it comes to principles. Tomorrow, these people will go, some new set of people will come. It could be a boyfriend, it could be a husband, it could be your children, it could be a boss. But once you learn that lesson, those people will not come into your life. I'll give you another case study. One woman came, they got married, it was almost 4 5 years. She wanted to conceive. Initially, the husband was very cooperative and he was like, yeah, let's have children. But when they decided, okay, this year let's have children, suddenly that his husband, he withdrew. He said, no, I'm not yet ready. So she was telling me, I'm ready, I want to have children, but my husband has suddenly taken a back step. When I made her sit in meditation, when I sat in meditation and when I saw her Akashic records, it is not the husband who's obstructing. It is her own karmas. There are certain things which are not yet cleared. That's why that soul is not ready to come. When the karmas will get cleared, the soul is ready, will come. And that time the husband which is not convinced, he will get convinced. So I told, it is not the problem with the husband. He is just reflecting or mirroring your karma. Once that karma gets disappeared, he will agree. Similarly, there was one more case study. One woman came, she said, ma'am, you know what? I want to get married, but the marriage is getting delayed. I just want to get settled down in the life. And there are certain patterns, from her past life karma. When I told her these are the patterns, the moment it came to her awareness, 7 months after it, she called me and she said, after the counseling got over, ma'am, what happened? Immediately there was a alliance which got okay. Always the alliance were getting rejected from the other side. But this time, immediately, just within a week, the alliance got okay. The marriage happened. Now I'm pregnant, and within 3 months, I will deliver my baby. And all happened after counseling. Then I told her, all did not happen after counseling. You were ready for that change. Therefore, when you got connected to me, when just those patterns got revealed to you, the moment you acknowledged it, the moment you accepted it, things started changing. So, we must carefully look what are the patterns in our life. The moment our attention goes, half of the things gets dissolved. So we must take our attention to those patterns, and that is very, very important. We all also these days, we see, uh, especially there are few people who come and they say there is a lot of delay in the marriage. If you see in the earlier lifestyle, 20 years before, 30 years before, these things were very less. But now you see these things are very much more. If you see, why are there delays in the marriage? Because there are no, you'll never see people short either from the side of the men or women who are ready for marriage, but the marriages are getting delayed. Why? Because if you look into the soul patterns, if you have that eye to look into the soul pattern, or even if you don't have the eye to look into the soul pattern, but if you have common sense, you will learn one thing. If one thing is getting delayed continuously, that means the similar patterns have happened before. Like, if a person is not getting married, that means in their previous lifetimes, the same soul has had many experiences, many lifetimes where they got married in a very early stage of life, because of which, because every woman knows once she gets into marriage, children, it is very easy to get lost in the life of a relationship. And very few people in them also finds out the way that, okay, although it is there, still there is one more way which will take me inside. So, because in their past lives, a lot of lifetimes, because of marriage, they got lost in their life and with their purpose, that this time the soul has very strongly decided that until I I'm very clear with my purpose, until I achieve certain percentage, complete certain percentage of my life's purpose, I will not get into relationships, or I will not get into taking birth, giving birth to another one. That's why, although there is no physically any problem, still the woman fails to conceive. But when she carefully observes why is she not conceiving, the similar problems in her earlier lifetimes she would have many times got lost with the children after their birth. Of course, it is a duty of the mother to take care of the children, but a mother should know until what time, until what age, and after what age she can get back to her own activities again, after what age she can beautifully balance both of them. So, if the soul doesn't have that knowledge, again another lifetime will be wasted. Therefore, the soul waits. No, until this is completed, I'll not get married. Until this is completed, the childbirth will not happen. But when you do not understand it, you panic, you overthink why this is not happening, why this is not happening. Some people have lot of financial issues in their life. The soul is not ready to open up those patterns, open that abundance, because certain lessons are not learned. Whereas you'll see certain people, they're filthy rich from their teenage or from the time they're working. That means those lessons are already over for them. I'll give you my own example. Right from my childhood, I don't know why I had very clear thought, I will not see poverty in my life. Whatever happens, I will not live a below average life. I should have sufficient in my life and I should have abundance in my life. If I have sufficient, it would be sufficient enough for me to lead my life. But when I have abundance, I will have the power to take the decisions where a lot of things can be done for me and for others. So, therefore, if you see my life, it is a beautiful flow of abundance. Whatever projects I want to execute, I execute it, and I don't execute it with having less or having sufficient, but I always have abundance, because the soul has seen lot of lifetimes earlier where it did not have money, and this time it is very clear I want to have money in my life. So I see that money as a great energy. So these all things are patterns, and when you meticulously look into it, you will very clearly see what is your soul's pattern. Afterwards, if you want to clearly have a vision of your soul's pattern, then it will be answered in your meditation, or get an, you know, get the guidance from the right person. It is always getting guidance from the right person is not a sign that you're not able to connect to your inner. No, it is definitely a great shortcut. And spirituality definitely also encourages shortcuts. It is a law of paradox. Okay. Spirituality is not meant for shortcuts, and spirituality is meant for shortcuts. I'll tell you how. There is no shortcuts when it comes to your practice of meditation. You'll say, I'll not meditate, I'll sleep and I'll observe my breath. That is laziness. There you have to sit in meditation. I cannot say, yeah, the yagna will happen, but I'll not do anything except announcement. That is laziness. You have to put your efforts. But wherever shortcuts can be taken, there you have to take shortcuts. Lord Krishna, he was so very intelligent. He went to 500 gurus to know what is his purpose of life. He used to go to a guru, ask a question, get the answer, get the clarity, move on. He never wasted his ounce of energy to go within, see, get clarity. If you say, I only want guidance from my within, it will come. Have patience. But if you are ignoring guidance from the universe or from other masters, that is also stupidity. I have taken guidance from so many masters. I have asked lot of questions to Patriji, and I used to take lot of guidance. And today I'm very happy because today sir is not there. But I'm very grateful to my intelligence that when he was there, I have taken lot of guidance from him. That today I have clarity in multi-dimension. And today I'm self-sufficient enough also to get my own guidance. Right? So taking guidance from others is not a sign that you have failed. In our journey, see, as far as we are on earth, we are humans, and humans need connections, need support. Correct? So it is not an individual journey, it is a community journey. We give support, we take support. Today I am here because someone taught me meditation. Today I am here because someone initially gifted me a pyramid. Today I am here because I have read books of so many masters who was written by someone else. If while reading a book, I will never say I will not take guidance from this master. What stupidity is it? Right? We read lot of books, correct? Similarly, we take guidance from others. See, take guidance from others. Then use your intelligence to understand, use your intuition to understand, okay, shall I follow it or not? But don't directly close the door of guidance because it will slow your progress. Okay, so always a wise person is a person who listens to others and then he takes what he wants from there. So there is a saying, Sabka sunna apna karna, means hear from everybody, but ultimately go with your intuition. So the soul plan, it is very, very important. And one last pointer before I close this session is, you must understand there is another way of knowing your soul plan. You know what is it? Wherever you feel lot of aliveness, you feel alive or you feel you're at peace, that is a crucial part of your soul's plan. Crucial part. I'll tell you where I feel alive and where I feel at peace. There are two places. One is whenever there is great food, I feel lot of liveliness, I feel lot of, you know I feel alive. And after I eat food, I'm very peaceful. So that clearly shows a direction to me. I have come in this lifetime, I have structured myself, my mind and my body is structured in a way to enjoy all the food items. But if when you see certain people, they'll be like, any food is okay for me. I eat food or I don't eat food also is okay. I'm not very particular. I don't want to go out and eat. I'm not very picky. I'm not very choosy. That means that soul has planned in a way, that soul has not planned in a way to enjoy multiple foods because it is not there in the soul's plan. It is either completed, it is completed, or they will do it in their next lifetime. So they don't take that plan. But people who are very much interested in food, that means it is one of the features of the soul. If you see in a group of five, few people will be very interested in few food, few people will be not at all interested, and few people will be neutral. So it shows your traits. Okay. Second thing, where I feel lot of aliveness, where I feel life, where I feel lot of peace is when I'm guiding others. I don't know from where that energy gets channeled. For example, after completing 7 days of Bhutan trip, okay, I was very tired. When I sat in flight, I felt this is it. I'm going to go back home, 2 days, rest, nothing, and then I'll continue my works. Situations happened in a way that my seat got changed, okay, and I went to the front row and I sat. When I sat with another lady, another woman, another master, and she was also a part of our trip, and in the entire trip I did not get chance to talk to her. So after we both sat, first thing what happened was flight got delayed, so therefore we got extra time, and it was proper 3 to 4 hours of flight where she has asked so many questions, where I have shared lot of answers, guidance. And when I was suddenly seeing where is so much energy coming, I was very tired. Just 5 minutes before, just after the change of seat, when someone is asking for guidance, the guidance is flowing. Then I understood that is my path, that is my purpose. That is a reason why I feel very energetic whenever I'm talking to people, whenever I'm hearing their experiences, whenever I'm guiding them. So that clearly shows that is my path. No matter how much tired I am, when a person is in front of me, waiting, seeking for the guidance, the energy flows. After 2 days of Buddha Purnima, few of the masters said, "Ma'am, there is some kind of glow in your face." And I was like, wow, last 2 days nobody said that. But after 2 days got over, they're saying it. Then, first reason is when certain things got over, the soul is revealing its joy in form of the glow. First thing. Second thing, after Buddha Purnima got opened, I met some 7, 8 people. So when they came, they were asking some questions. I closed my eyes. Answers were not coming. Channel was not coming. I thought, what happened? Why nothing is not coming? For the first few people, it did not come. I thought maybe, I'm tired or something. From third person, it started flowing. Fourth, fifth, sixth, it started flowing. When again one more person came, nothing was coming. They were telling, seems like you have you do Akashic records, please reveal our future. Nothing came. So it is not a problem with my channeling, but it is with the problem with the other person's readiness. If you're not ready to receive, the channel will not come. But if you're ready to receive, you need not even ask questions and the channel flows. So it is always, we must check ourselves. Where do we stand? Some people come, can you reveal our future? I am not an astrologer. If you are ready, if your soul is really seeking something, the answer will flow. And I absolutely am very unapologetic about it. If channel doesn't come, I say it's not come, you're not yet ready. Please do these things and come again. When you're ready, it will flow. When you're not ready, nothing will come. So please figure out what is your soul's plan. See what is your soul's plan. Check what is your soul's plan just by observing your body, your mind, your repeating life patterns, where and also the places where you feel life, where you feel peace, where you feel at home. That is absolutely the direction in your life. Also, before closing this session, few announcement. One is, on this Buddha Purnima, I got a beautiful opportunity to release this book, Why Women Prefer to Suffer. Okay. So this is a beautiful book. This is a channeled book. It is a complete channel book, right from the index, right from to every chapter, every word. It is a complete channeled material. So whoever wish to read this book, I will find a way that it will reach out to you. But all you need to do is, I will run a poll after the session is over in the WhatsApp groups. Whoever wish to read the book, respond with a yes, and I'll ensure that the book reaches to you. All right. And the second announcement is, we all are traveling on this Guru Purnima to Leh Ladakh. So Leh Ladakh is not a place which you think can come, but only if you're destined you can make it. So to know if you're destined or not, give an attempt. If you're really destined, you will make for the trip. The universe will open opportunities that you come there. Meditating in Himalayas is not a just a random thing or a joke, or it is just not any other casual trip. I'm telling right away, already lot of registrations are happened and very soon we'll be closing the registrations. So only if you're ready to change, to transform in your journey, only then you can make to this trip. As I said, if your soul is ready, only then you can make to this trip. It is not a fun trip. It is not a casual trip where you come, you see Ladakh and you go. If you're only interested in transforming yourself, in burning your karmas, then you come to the trip, because this trip is going to be all about meditation. This trip is going to be all about wisdom. This trip is also going to be about certain places where we have to go to Maunam. This place will be all about meditating in pure nature. So, if you're interested to unlock the blueprint of your soul, if you're ready to release those energies or enhance those energies which are already there in you, but it is waiting for the right tap to come out, and it will be useful for your next purpose of life, then come for this trip. Okay. And all you need to do is message me, and I will guide you how you can make out to come to this trip. There are a lot of groups traveling, lot of women solo traveling, and this time I've also opened it for the families. So if you wish to come along with your husband, along with your children, please make it. I don't know if it will happen again, and I don't know if it will happen again with the same combination, because last time 95% it was women, 5% exceptionally whoever were allowed, I allowed them. But this time I got a clear message to open it for everybody. Therefore, any families or any people, this time even few men bachelors are also coming. I don't know how it's going to turn up to, but please enroll for the trip before we close it. All right. So there are, before we close, let me just address if there are some questions. How do we get the book? I've told you. I'll run a poll. Please respond to it or directly message me and I will ensure you get this book. Ma'am, how can we understand our soul plan and what should we do accordingly? How do we understand the soul plan? That was the whole session about. And what should we do? Once you know the soul plan, execute it. That's it. How can we truly align to our true self? Do the things, if you really want to align to your true self, do the things which gives you energy. Whatever drains you your energy, don't go there. Whatever gives you energy, that means your soul is aligned there. Just to give you an example, uh, recently when I met a woman, she told she was working in an institution, but she did not feel, she felt some conflict, she did not feel it was the right place and she resigned. Now she was asking me, did I do the right thing? And I told her, you absolutely did the right thing, because that place was no more aligned with her inner. Therefore, she quit it. But she should not quit from her career. I told, you left that place. Find some other job, find some other opportunity and get there. Work there. There will be some place which will completely align with you. So you all have to find out if there is some place, there are some people which is draining your energy, please get out from it. Okay, soul has a plan, but how to get soul, mind, and heart in sync to achieve something, because distractions will always be right there. See, the beauty is once you know the soul's plan, okay, you automatically get the courage to do it. For example, I knew that this is my soul's plan, okay. The knowing itself solves 50% of the problem because you know exactly what to do next. There is no confusion. Second thing, what you should do is to sync all the three is you must showcase enough courage to execute it. Courage is the only step which stops you to do what your purpose is. If your purpose says you have to build pyramid, please have the courage to build a pyramid. If your sole purpose says I must contribute very actively towards the spread of meditation through literature, please participate in that. If your soul's plan says you must uh, you know go towards the side of music, please do that. So soul path is revealed, but you must have enough guts to do it. If you don't have, develop it. Take that first step and the rest follows. How to clear the karma? Well, remember, the karma will never be cleared in one go. Okay, karma will get cleared in number of multiple steps. For example, if you are preparing a curry, okay, do you just go to the kitchen and the curry comes into your hand? No, there are multiple steps. You must go out, bring the vegetables, step 1. You must wash it, step 2. You must learn the right way of cooking, step 3. You must cut the vegetable, step 4. You must cook it, step 5. Step 6, you have to ensure all this process happens without any burning, without any spoilage. And finally, the dish comes to your plate. Similarly, burning of karma is not just one step activity. You have to do the same thing but multiple times in order to reach there, because it all depends upon how much of karma have you accumulated. A person A has 10 bags of karma. Person B has 3 bags of karma. Okay, now both of them are practicing meditation. Obviously, Person A will take longer sittings of meditation in order to dissolve the karma. Okay. Person B, it will be very easy for him to clear the karma because the luggage is less. So, how do you clear your karma? Two ways: practice of meditation, and faster way is to teach meditation. Fastest way is to build a pyramid. So, whenever you organize meditation programs, meditation yagnas, whenever you participate in it, it could be small contribution or big contribution, your every participation will ensure the inner growth is happening by the burning of karma. So, it is not one event that you must attend. That's why I always push people attend multiple yagnas. Okay, you have attended 8th March event. Very good. Attend Buddha Purnima. You have done it. Attend the next event, next event, next event. Whatever meditation yagnas come into your way, attend it, because you're not doing a favor on others, but by attending those yagnas, by participating, by giving your tan, man, dhan there, you are burning your karmas. And once your karma is burnt, you will know it. You will feel great lightness inside. You will see whatever you are trying, it is getting executed. You have immense universal support. There is no suffering inside you. So, until you find suffering inside you, keep involving yourself deeply into the activities of practicing meditation and teaching meditation. How can one choose the right life partner as a meditator? Okay, forget about the meditator part. How can you choose a right life partner? See, right life partner always need not be a meditator. Okay. Who is right? The person who ensures that your soul plan is getting executed. Okay, who helps with your soul's plan. He is the right fit for you. He meditates, he doesn't meditate, doesn't matter. Okay, but he supports you in your journey. That matters a lot. So, there are so many people who are meditators who have married each other, but it doesn't work out there. So, you have to identify, you have to see whether the person who is with you, if he supports you in your soul's journey. Sometimes non interference is the greatest support. They might not you know push your back, and they might not take you anywhere, they might not do anything for you, but the biggest support is they're not interfering. They're saying, do your thing, I'll do my thing. For example, I chose my parents very wisely, that they will not interfere with my soul's plan. The moment I came into meditation, two paths separated. One path is their devotional path, one part is my meditation part. There was a beautiful mutual agreement between both of us that I will not pull them into meditation, and they will not pull me out of meditation. Beautiful contract. So they have never interfered in my life. Okay. So the right partner, right friends are those people who support you in your journey. Okay, I'm just focusing on the questions. Okay. Veena ji, I'll send you the list of whatever I like. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Okay, what are the things to do to get ready? Well, it's only a half question. What should I do to get ready? Get ready for what? Okay. Again, the question repeats: how to clear karma. Simple. I told you, meditate and practice meditation. Practice meditation and teach meditation. Okay. See, the reason why all these yagnas are arranged, are organized is for everyone, including for the organizers and also for the participants to clear their karma. Second thing, why are all these trips to Leh Ladakh, to Bhutan, to Himalayas are organized? Not for my fun. If it was for my fun, one trip was sufficient for me. But every time I take an effort to take lot of people there, make them sit in meditation. Why? Because when you meditate in those kind of places, your karma, lot of your karma gets cleared in a very short span of time. So, as I told you, you must do all the activities which helps you in burning of your karma. All right. How to get ready? Well, how do you get ready? When don't think how do you get ready. Only understand when you get ready, the doors gets opened. That much I can tell you. I met a person. He was from one of the core committee members of, the Vidhyan Buddha Purnima, Coimbatore Buddha Purnima. Until now, he has only meditated once or twice, and I'm sure it was for a very short period of time. But almost being a non-meditator, he took up the entire role of the Buddha Purnima on his shoulders and he has executed it. Why? Not because he wanted to do it. Any other reason will just be a mere reason. But the core reason why he has done is the soul got finally ready. When the soul is ready, the opportunities comes and your free will allows you to either accept or deny the opportunity. So when you're ready, the opportunities will come. When you're ready, the path will get opened. When you're ready, your soul will grab the opportunity to go inwards. So don't think how to get ready, but just understand when you get ready, the doors will get opened. All right. All right, masters. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience hearing. It was almost 1 hour, 10 minutes. And I hope all of you have got great clarity on your soul's path. Still, if any one of you are precisely looking for your soul's journey, then you want to get clarity in your soul's journey, then please you can enroll for the Akashic record readings. Okay. And in that session, and in that session, I'm sure you will get a clear guidance. Now, again, the Akashic Record sessions are opened from tomorrow. A lot of people were waiting, were requesting for it for themselves, for their friends, for their family members. But from tomorrow, it is again opened. I'll be taking the sessions again. All right. So, if anyone of you are interested, anyone wants the guidance, clear guidance, please enroll for the sessions and be a part of Vidhyan group. Could be any Vidhyan group. Be a part of Vidhyan group in order to get the regular updates. And yes, I will be running a poll about the book, and whoever wishes to have the book, they can respond. All right. Thank you, masters. Thanks you. Thanks to all once again. We all will meet soon in one of the Vidhyan Yagnas or Vidhyan programs that will be coming up next. Thank you very much. Signing off. Bye bye.